Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news of this morning, Clarendon police probing death of farmer suspected to be killed by cow. The Clarendon police are investigating the death of a 64-year-old man who is suspected to have been mauled by a cow. Dead is Leroy Prince, a farmer of Friendship District. It is reported that about 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, Prince's body was found in bushes with injuries to his face. The cow was seen near the scene. The police were called, and the checks made revealed that Prince was reportedly attacked by the cow. The body was removed to the hospital. Workers at Bay Principe and the Jewel Paradise Cove go on strike. More tourism workers have taken to the picket line to protest over what they say are poor working conditions. On Friday, disgruntled workers at the Bay Principe Grand Jamaica Resort and the Jewel Paradise Cove, which are both in Runaway Bay, St. Anne, walked off the job. They are pressing for improved employment arrangements. Efforts to get a comment from the management of both hotels were unsuccessful up to Friday evening. At the Bay Principe, several managers and the supervisors were forced to take charge of the kitchen and prepare dinner for the guests amid the strike. Workers at that hotel have reported rejected increases being offered, which in some cases amounted to 15%, and withdrew their service, leaving guests without a proper service. A meeting involving the workers' union representative and the hotel's management was held to discuss the issues. Friday's industrial action is the latest in a series of protests by tourism workers in recent weeks. Earlier this week, workers at Excellence Oyster Bay Resort in Trilon protested over working conditions following similar protests at Ibero Star, Secrets St. James, and the Breathless Resort in Montego Bay and Royal Town Negril in Negril. Protests have been over low wages and the poor working conditions, among other issues. These include allegations of some staff having to work 13 hours without adequate remuneration, the calculation of commissions for staff, the rising number of people being employed on a contractual basis, among other things. Jamaica's winter tourism season officially begins on December 15, with expectations from industry sources prior to the series of industrial action that it would be another successful season. Several people arrested in a Morant Bay St. Mary operation. Several people were arrested on Friday during a major police military operation in a Morant Bay St. Mary. Deputy Superintendent of Police Kevin Francis told the news that the operation was conducted to restore public order to the town. Joining the police and the military were the Transport Authority, National Solid Waste Management Authority, National Environment and the Planning Agency, public health officials, and other agencies.
So we have with us the National Solid Waste Management Authority. We have representatives from NEPA, the Public Health, the JDF, and we have representatives supporting us from Transport Authority and other agencies. So we want to ensure that the persons in this town are actually protected, covered, and also that the sidewalks, we observe a little congestion issue. We observe vending issues where persons are on the sidewalks, and we are ensuring public safety by ensuring that these areas are cleared. We are looking at public health breaches, food handlers permits. We're also looking at other offenses, and so far we have had several arrests, and we have had tickets issued by the Solid Waste Management Authority. We have had vending cleared from the sidewalks and the streets.
Sections of Cassava Peace in St. Andrew under curfew. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Cassava Peace in St. Andrew. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Friday, November 22, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday, November 24. The boundaries of the curfew are north from Grasvenor Heights to the intersection of Grasvenor Terrace and the Constant Spring Road, south from the intersection of Clifton Boulevard and the Mannings Hill Road to the intersection of Mannings Hill Road and the Glen Drive, east from the intersection of Grasvenor Terrace and the Constant Spring Road along Constant Spring Road via Cassava Peace Road to the intersection of Manning's Hill Road and the Clifton Boulevard. West from the intersection of Manning's Hill Road and the Glen Drive to Grasvenor Heights. During the curfew, all persons are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized. Mama D re-elected Trilon Southern MP in by-election. The Jamaica Labour Party's Marisa Dalrymple Philibert has been re-elected Member of Parliament for the Trilon Southern constituency. In a by-election on Friday, Dalrymple Philibert polled 4,146 votes, 74.3%, beating independent candidate Lloyd Muzzy Gillings, who got 1,434 or 25.7%. According to the Electoral Office of Jamaica, the preliminary voter turnout was 22.3%. The vacancy in the seat had followed Dalrymple Philibert's resignation in 2023 amid mounting pressure in relation to 8 charges laid against her by the Integrity Commission. The main opposition People's National Party did not contest the election. JLP's P DNE Smith wins St. Andrew Northwestern by-election. The Jamaica Labour Party's P DNE Smith has won the St. Andrew Northwestern by-election. Smith claimed 1,863 votes, 94.4%, beating independent candidate Carl Marshall, who got 111 votes, 5.6%, after replacing Rohan Banks when he pulled out of the election. According to the Electoral Office of Jamaica, the preliminary voter turnout was 6.2%. The vacancy in the seat follows Dr. Nigel Clark's resignation. The main opposition People's National Party did not contest the election. PNP retains Morant Bay division in St. Thomas. The opposition People's National Party has retained the Morant Bay division in the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. Following Friday's by-election, the PNP's Yvonne Rosemary Shaw, a former mayor, polled 2,096 votes to defeat Winston Downey, 1,978 of the Jamaica Labour Party. The constituency has 11,009 registered voters. The by-election had a voter turnout of 37%. The JLP remains in control of the St. Thomas municipality. PNP to take control of Clarendon municipality with Annan Town by-election win. The opposition People's National Party is to take control of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation following Friday's win by Delroy Dawson of the Annan Town division by-election. Dawson polled 1,646 votes to defeat the Jamaica Labour Party's Suzette Barton, who garnered 1,592 votes. The PNP win means that the municipal corporation is now tied, handing the PNP control of the parish through the popular vote. Some 6,921 electors were eligible to vote. The by-election had a voter turnout of 46.8%, according to the Electoral Office of Jamaica. In Matthew Hyde trial, court told accused diagnosed with a persistent depressive and a borderline personality disorder. Matthew Hyde, the university student who burned and tortured his ex-girlfriend on the Mona campus of the UWI last year, has been diagnosed with a persistent depressive and a borderline personality disorder. This was revealed during his part-heard sentencing hearing in the Home Circuit Court on Thursday. The hearing is scheduled to continue on December 6, with the prosecution responding to authorities cited by Matthew Hyde's attorney Patrick Peterkin. In his over 1 hour and 30 minutes mitigation, Matthew Hyde's attorney Patrick Peterkin submitted to Justice Caroline Ty Powell that the 21-year-old biochemistry student has been suffering from psychiatric challenges since he was a child. Mr. Peterkin said Hyde experienced abuse while living with his mother. Noting that there was a dispute in the family court, Mr. Peterkin said Hyde later moved and lived with his father. It was at this point that Hyde, clad in a khaki shirt and black pants, removed his glasses and held his head back. citing excerpts from the social inquiry report and the psychiatric evaluation report. Mr. Peterkin urged Justice Ty Powell to take into consideration records of abuse, history of childhood trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit disorder, and Hyde's guilty plea. Mr. Peterkin said his client was first seen by a therapist in his early childhood for behavioral challenges. He said Hyde was diagnosed with depression around age 15 and was prescribed antidepressants. Mr. Peterkin said a year later, Hyde was admitted to the University Hospital of the West Indies after an overdose on medication. As he continued to paint a picture of a young man who is not beyond redemption, Mr. Peterkin said his client's risk of imminent violence is considered low. He explained that Hyde saw some information in a phone in February last year which caused him to go overboard, but that he has since shown remorse. Mr. Peterkin said Hyde's family will continue to do their best to assist and to support him. Hyde's attorney has proposed he be given a sentence of no more than 4 years, but earlier in his mitigation, Mr. Peterkin told the court that any sentence imposed on his client should fall within the time he has been in custody. Mr. Peterkin requested a 50% discount in sentencing for time spent in custody. Hyde has been in custody since February 2023. He pleaded guilty on September 26 to assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, use of malicious communication, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and false imprisonment. Hyde held his ex-girlfriend captive for 3 days in his room at the Georgia Lane Hall, where he allegedly tortured her with a hot clothing iron and other implements. She was reportedly discovered sometime after 10 p.m. on February 9 last year. Meanwhile, a civil case is looming against Matthew Hyde. The complainant's attorney, Abigail Gordon, told the news following Thursday's hearing that he is preparing documents to file the lawsuit. Mr. Gordon said the complainant is seeking damages for mental and physical injuries. The complainant, who is represented by attorney Abigail Gordon, suffered iron burns to the face and the various parts of her body. Hyde's attorney Patrick Peterkin informed the court that his client is minded to compensate the complainant but was unable to disclose what the sum would be. Hyde's father, who was also in court, described the incident as unfortunate. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.